Sean Strickland continues to make a fool out of himself in the MMA media. I mean, ever since this guy became champion, I mean, he's completely changed as a person. I used to like Sean Strickland, but ever since becoming the champion and he started feeling himself, I mean, you should feel yourself when you're the champion, but then when he lost the belt the way he did by split decision and he just wouldn't stop bitching and moaning and made a bunch of media rounds complaining about the result of that fight, how he was robbed, and pumping his Twitter fingers about how he was robbed and begging for a rematch. And this dude's been absolutely insufferable. And now this clown has came out and said that Israel Adesanya was never that good. Okay, buddy. Are you forgetting one of the reasons why you gas yourself up so much? One of the reasons why you toot your own horn is because you beat Israel Adesanya, the guy who's not that good. Your best career win that literally proved that you're not a bum like most people thought you were. A lot of people thought you were a low-level, B-level fighter until you beat Izzy. And a lot of people who picked you to beat Izzy were not thinking objectively and literally picked with their heart. That is facts. You cannot deny those facts. That is why you think you're that good. Is because you beat Israel Adesanya, but now you want to go out, contradict yourself and say, well, he was never that good. Okay, what does that say about you then? Okay, if Izzy's overrated, if he was never that good, but you beat him, what does that say about you? Your literal best career accomplishment is not only winning the title. That's one thing, but beating Izzy for your legacy's sake, that is one of your biggest accomplishments. And you're basically diminishing your own accomplishment. How stupid are you? Like, props to Dricus du Plessis, because at least he gives Izzy his flowers. He acknowledges that Israel Adesanya had a good legacy, that Israel is one of the best to ever do it. He acknowledges Adesanya and how good he is. That's smart of du Plessis. Like, how are you going to beat the second greatest middleweight of all time and say, he's not that good? It's foolish. And he's grasping at straws with his argument here. Like, oh, because Kelvin Gastelum gave him a tough fight literally 5 years ago in 2019. And oh, because you had dominant sparring sessions against him versus Israel's real fight against Kelvin Gastelum. Oh, well, all of a sudden that means that Izzy just sucks because Kelvin Gastelum, who you say sucks, who does suck now, but was at his best back then, gave him a war, and he had a close fight with Kelvin, which it was not a close fight. It was a clear, convincing win for Israel Adesanya. It was a bit of a competitive fight. You know, Kelvin Gastelum stunned him in the first round, 10-9 Gastelum, but Izzy was out striking him before that moment. And I think it was round 3 or 4 where Adesanya, you know, got stunned by a head kick. But in between that, Israel Adesanya was out striking him, easily won the second round, dominated round 5, multiple knockdowns per round, should have been stopped, should have been a 10-8 round. I scored that 48-46 for Israel Adesanya. So he clearly beat Kelvin, but yeah, he took some damage. But he clearly won that fight like he was expected to. But okay, yeah, he's not that good. And because you didn't have a real fight with Prime Gastelum, you had a sparring match with him, and you beat him in sparring. Wow, congrats, bro. And then you're talking about the Costa fight. Like, oh, he fought Costa, and Costa was scared. He fought scared. So yeah, that's why Izzy's not that good. You hypocrite. Are you forgetting? My brother in Christ, are you forgetting that when Costa fought you, it was literally the same thing? Costa shit the bed when he fought you as well. He fought timid against you as well. But okay, yeah, Izzy's not that good because Paulo Costa fought scared of Izzy back when Izzy was at the peak of his career and had like plus 1,000 aura. Okay. So we're going to talk about your sparring sessions with Kelvin and Izzy's war with Kelvin and the fact that Izzy fought a timid Paulo Costa. So we're going to bring up those factors. What about Izzy's accomplishments, his legacy, and then yours? who has defenses of the belt and who has zero. Last time I checked, you never defended your belt. You were a one-hit wonder. Your only claim to fame was beating Izzy. You lost the belt immediately after. Israel Adesanya, after that war with Gastelum, what did he do? He knocked out Robert Whittaker, dominated the then champion, became the champ himself, and defended the belt 5 times, making a legacy for himself as one of the greatest middleweights of all time, the second greatest middleweight of all time, not far behind the Spider Anderson Silva. Okay, he loses the belt to Poatan. What does he do? He avenges the loss, knocks Pereira out, and is the only UFC or the only 2-time champion in middleweight history. Sean, you're yet to be a 2-time champion. I doubt you're even going to get the belt back if you get your rematch with Dricus. You didn't even beat Pereira. And I know it's 3-1 Alex, but at least Izzy got that win against Alex. He's the only man to beat him in the UFC, the only man ever to put him out cold. Sean, can you say you did that? But Izzy just isn't that good? Maybe stylistically, you're better than Israel Adesanya, because you did beat him. You beat him in dominant fashion. Styles make matchups. Congrats, you beat Izzy. And honestly, that was the worst Israel Adesanya we've ever seen in years. Every other loss Izzy has had, he has fought hard and he's put up a good fight at least. Against Pereira, he gave Pereira a tough fight before getting finished. Against Dricus, it was a close fight, and I had Izzy up until he got choked out. That was a dangerous version of Izzy we saw last weekend. You fought a crappy version of Israel Adesanya who had an off night. Wow, okay. And yeah, he didn't do that good when he lost to Jan, but I mean, bro, settle down. Like, you should be proud of yourself that you beat Izzy. I am diminishing that a little bit because I do think he had an off night, but even still, you should be proud that you beat him. Yeah, and you are. But then why are you going to turn around and then say that he's just not that good or is never that good? And then use the stupid reasonings that you're using. And okay, yeah, Izzy lost. He's like 1-2 in his last 3. So what? You can't win them all. Fighters lose. People lose, Sean. People lose. I mean, you've lost more than Izzy, I'm sure. But people lose, and you can't be on top forever. When you're that dominant, you're going to be studied, and the game is going to catch up. You're going to get figured out. It happens to the best of them. But to say that at one point, pound for pound number 2 guy in the world, and the former 5-time defending and 2-time champion, Izzy just isn't that good. It's just, that's nonsense. I mean, last time I checked, when you took that fight with him, you were uncertain whether you would win that fight or not. You were literally lacking in confidence until Izzy gave you confidence and momentum in that first round. But whatever. Sean can keep running his mouth. He can say whatever he wants. Doesn't take away from Izzy's legacy. And Sean will never accomplish half of what Izzy was able to accomplish, if at anything. But let me know what you guys think in the comments.